It's something for what it is, but Vanquish is a fast-paced third-person shooter action game. Assume the role of Sam, a DARPA researcher who operates an armored suit that basically gives him superhuman strength, dexterity, and time-slowing reflexes, and go to town on a legion of armed robots. Years into the future, the unrest between the US and Russia leads to an attack on American soil in the manner of a giant microwave beam hitting San Fran. People die. Uh-oh, here comes the Space Marine. Sam joins the Marines in attacking the space colony that houses the microwave emitter, and their goal is to fuck up some Russian robots, only robots, and disable the weapon. Though secretly Sam is sent in to recover a DARPA scientist who helped invent half this bullshit in the first place. Gameplay is ratcheted up in a simple manner. You've got a one-man mech suit that can jet ski wherever it wants, slow time when either hurt or just desired, and a handle of a gun that can mimic other firearms and replicate as need be. A one-man army, if you would. Movement is freeform at all times, and this is enunciated by your fast skiing movement with breakdancing and shooting down fucking missiles. If I had to come up with some relations, I'd say this is like Third Birthday mixed in with Lost Planet and, hilariously enough, EDF. It's certainly its own concoction, to be sure, and was pretty original back when it came out, but the game actually falls short of what it really could be, and whether that was lack of more development, misguided objectives, or simply due to timing, I'm not sure. While the core of gameplay seems like it should stand out, it really doesn't, as the game has a very hard time trying to decide what it is exactly. Case in point, all the cutscenes of the game really give you this allure as to how this is going to go down, but in reality, all the cutscenes you witness are actually immeasurably more interesting and cool than playing itself. At first, it's an action shooter, then a cover shooter, then an action shooter, then a cover shooter, then a stealth shooter, then a cover shooter, it just keeps repeating. It's hard to tell if you're supposed to be dodging bullets, or hiding from them, or shooting them back. Plenty of just deadpan areas that don't ever elicit any joy. Like the second act, which is mostly just an on-rails, literally, tram scene that just nothing ever fucking happens. This goes on for like a fixed half hour. Having to double back, making sure you've killed everything, waiting for NPCs to catch up, just holding down fire on tankier enemies, not even the boss battles really shine through enough to make it worth it. There is melee as well, but it's so unemphasized, even though it feels like it's what this game was meant to be doing in the first place. Anytime you hit something, your reactor overheats and you can't do anything fancy again until it cools down. So punching shit is just right out of the question. And you really just keep this pace up for about 5 or 6 hours, and before you know it, boom, you've beat the game. The story is a sidelines thing. It starts off really strong and interesting. It's like MGS4 50 years into the future, then it's sort of just forgotten near the midpoint and completely thrown out at the end. Visually, the game is gorgeous with its own cyber concrete style going on, where it's just completely based on a mortar and steel space station with earthly influences. The suits on the Marines are just metal battle armor, the robots have their own flair, and Sam strikes out being lit up in neon. The music is just downright bangers, electronic synth blasting at you full throttle. Sam constantly smoking, the style is all there, just none of the needed game to make it work. So no, I don't really recommend this. Instead, what I do advise is, if you want a tighter third-person shooter, I do recommend Lost Planet 2 or something a little different. Third Birthday if you want similar gameplay but more well executed. If you want more combo action going on, probably go play Devil May Cry 3 or something. If you're hyped up about bobbing and weaving gameplay, go play Sin and Punishment. If you really want to try this without the bad, you'll go play Metal Gear Revengeance, because really, I just see it as a directly better successor, and I think you will too. It effectively feels like everything Vanquish wanted to be, but better. And it even showcases this with boiled concepts, and shit, I mean, don't even tell me you don't see a resemblance in Sam in both games. They even share the same name, for Christ's sake. I don't see Vanquish as more than a stepping stone in Platinum trying to assert themselves with their niche, because eventually they just went full chugga-choo-choo on Nier, and I got my own opinion about that shit. Get out of the suit and head for the bar, but don't work overtime for this.